Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I now have a haircut, so we're ready to go. Welcome to this episode of Jay's Top Garage. We have the rat rod sitting here. So the deal is, this is the new gas tank I got put on. The old one is shot. I gotta take this back off and put a gasket. I forgot to do that when I put it on, but the gasket is right there. So it is gonna be kind of redneck, but no big deal. So what I gotta do is take my angle grinder with the wire wheel and wire wheel the paint off in this area, and then I gotta take some of the old framework from this. I got some more laying around, and then notch it to go over this. I'm gonna put one here and one right about, well, gotta keep out of the way to start, so probably put one here and one here, and then come up with them. I want to do two of them. I mean, I may only do one, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's gonna be sturdier, and put the gas tank so that it sets right about here, like this. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit hard getting to everything, like the starter and everything. But it's roughly got to be right about here, so it's high enough. And, I mean, it's going to look a little bit funky. I'll be honest, it's not going to look right. But this is a rat rod. Rat rods don't care. You do it your way or the rat rod way. And I'm going to do it the rat rod way. And then my other project is sitting here, which I'm going to probably pull this and put this where the rat rod is, because the rat rod, I'm hoping to get it going good enough today. But I had to pull the starter out of here. I gotta get a new starter because the solenoid went out on the old one, and then the starter ended up getting messed up after that. Alright, so this is the leftover metal we have. Just a little bit of the roof rack. I cut it off right here. It was up a little bit higher, but not much. So this is where I ended up cutting off, was this piece at this size, and I didn't end up using it all. So I now have another part for an exhaust pipe. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, I know this does not look good, but then again, this is a rat rod. Rat rods aren't supposed to look good. That's what makes a rat rod. So this is what we ended up with. I had this piece that comes up here, it's welded in down here, and it's, trust me, it's pretty solid. I got this piece here, which I had to put in my vise so that it lay flat on this piece, and then I took a pipe wrench, not pipe wrench, my adjustable wrench, my real big one that over there, I'll show it to you in a minute, and I grabbed hold of the end and I bent it, well, twisted it, and then welded it onto this piece, which I welded across here, which was left over from where I bent these two pieces. I actually have another one of these, which is actually right here. So these two pieces that were scraps from these pieces came out handy. This piece is then welded to this pipe. And these pieces here would hold the gas tank. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how the gas tank's going to stay in place. I'm going to take these, and because they're flexible, they're going to clamp shut onto the gas tank. And I used my Harbor Freight pipe bender, well, not pipe bender, but my Harbor Freight floor mount bender to bend these. As you can see, in the gas tank itself, right here, fits right down inside. Now, I know this one looks a little bit spaced. Like I said, these are going to squeeze together like a clamp and then hold this in. Now, the reason it's actually, when you're looking here and the gas tank is tilted, is because I had to have a space to hook up my fuel line. And the fuel line is going to run from here down. Now, I'm hoping that the fuel line is not going to get in the way of the throttle or anything, which it shouldn't. Because the original fuel line is over here. You can't really see too good. And looking at it, well, even I can't figure it out. So here's, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can't. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so the fuel line actually feeds into here. So I could almost bring the fuel line out instead of around, but I might just leave it around because that probably will work better. So pull this off real quick before I forget. And this way we can find it again. Yeah, I think this would be better to feed it from there. So I'm probably going to have to remove some stuff so I can get to that. But that's what ended up being the outcome. And the adjustable wrench I used is this one here. It's not really good for much anything except bending metal at this point, which still works out pretty good. Now, quick story while we're doing this video. What this actually is. The back end, as a lot of people might recognize, is the Coleman go-kart. The front end is a Tractor Supply pedal cart, which you also might recognize. This is, I don't believe this was ever on my YouTube channel. Originally, it had a big piece of metal welded on front, and then a wraparound bar, which is actually a wood rack that covered the sides and a pipe in the middle. And I would pedal around and run into trees and stuff, and I thought it was kind of fun. Well, then, I quit using this because it's all hill and it's not fun pedaling, especially if you don't have different gears. And what ended up happening for an outcome was I cut the back axle off of this, cut the pieces up a little bit higher, these side pieces. Then I took the jack stands and held the back of this up to the back of the go-kart and welded them together. And the go-kart didn't even have to cut, just took the pins holding it to the front of the frame. And then I welded this tube frame to that sheet metal, which is then welded to the frame of the go-kart, which it's not involved as it sounds. And then I have this piece here, and then underneath, got some more welds under there. And then I have these pieces here, just to add some extra strength and support. And then I have some more of the go-kart frame here, so it wouldn't want to flex as much in the middle. Because there was a little bit of flex, so I just strengthened the frame up. And then this, these pieces here are actually two separate ones. I welded into one. And then I welded it onto this. And then I just cut these out of the old go-kart so I wouldn't have to make all this up again. And then just welded that in place. And I used this up front, welded that on, to hold this from bending, because originally I was using the gas and brake. These would actually end up bending down. And I didn't want to do anything else except weld this on. And it also worked out pretty good because I got to hold up this little reservoir. And then this is part of the front of the Coleman go-kart, except for this Lincoln emblem, which I made with my plasma cutter when I was practicing. Now, it's got a little bit of play in it, but I can pick the front end of this up. And you can see one of my welds did break right there, so I'm going to have to fix that a little bit later. But this was during my earlier years of welding, so it's not the best. And then I welded these fenders on because the mud just kept flying on. And the mud still flies on us, but it's still kind of neat. Just had these little bit of mud flaps. But that, and one more thing I just forgot, I put a header on here, except this is the dual. It doesn't actually come out of this end, but it does, when it goes by this, there's this hole here, so it kind of makes a little bit of a throatier sound. But overall, all I've done to the go-kart except now with the gas tank modification system, because the old one had a hole in it. But yeah, that is how we end up with the rat rod. Alright, so we're here, day number 2, and I have to go ahead and put the fuel line, and I got this brand new one. Alright, so we have the fuel line hooked up. I had it run under here like it's supposed to be. Everything's connected, the clamp, nothing's in the way of any mechanical or moving parts. Come around here, it feeds down in through here, so I took the air filter off to get to everything. So now what we're going to do is take this off. Now, I figured there's probably a little bit of grit or grime or something in the tank, but the advantage is I put the filter onto this that was on the go-kart. Luckily, the threads fit perfectly. I didn't have to do any modifications. So, what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up for the first time and hope that it doesn't leak. Because if it leaks, we got issues. I went through all this work for nothing. But we're going to hope it doesn't leak. Now, I did have a little bit of extra fuel line right here. I saved it. I'll use that on something else. No telling what, but I'll end up using it again. And then I had these bearings. These are the ATV bearings to go on the front. I was going to say maybe that fell in the back, but no, probably not. But anyway, so yes, let's go ahead and fill this up. I'm going to set the camera up. Guess here. Let's go for it. Alright everyone, let's see what happens. Will she hold fuel or will she leak? Nothing leaking so far. Alright, I didn't put full tank in there, and I don't think I'm going to. Let's see. Let's put the lid back on. Now this cap is a little bit tight before it's been setting, but that'll wear out eventually. Now shake it around. And check again. Make sure ain't no gas leaking here at the fuel line. Put in, no gas is leaking there. Make sure nothing's leaking along here. Gas is turned on. We got our choke on. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move you all around. And we're going to try and fire this up. Alright, so we got it running. Good to go. So what I'm going to do now is let it set a couple minutes. Make sure the fuel's going to feed through, which it seems like it is. And then pull it out of the garage. I want to make sure I turn the choke off. Okay, that's what I thought. I left the choke on, so that wasn't good. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull it out the shop and see what happens. This is an exciting moment, because hopefully it's not going to leak gas. A little hard to steer with the flat tire on the front. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try one more time firing it up. I want to double check, make sure there's nothing leaking. There's no wet spots. Okay, there's a little bit of a leak. And it's at the top of this, and I'm thinking it's this plastic here. So that's the only gas leak we have, that's fine. What that means is I need to take this off and replace the gasket on there. Let's see. Yeah, that's all that is, that gasket's shot. So what I might do is rig something up that'll work for a gasket. I think the main thing is it's coming out the top. So I'll do is I'll bust this plastic off and replace that. But let's go ahead and see if it starts again. I'm gonna put the choke to on. Alright. So the gas tank idea worked. The only thing leaking is right here at the top, and I think it's from this piece here because that's where it looks like the gas came out. So I'm gonna take that off, and I'm just gonna put something on top of that so it won't leak. Like put some filler in there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll put something in there. I gotta pump up the tires. But yep, good to go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you on the next episode of Jay's Hilltop Garage. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Okay, what else needs fixed? ATV, you're next. See you next time, everyone.